Hello and welcome to session 3 of Academy of the Blade. And we are here. This is a stretch goal setting for Hearts of Wulin that is inspired by Revolutionary Girl Utena and other anime, but really Revolutionary Girl Utena. Just know that that's what this is. I want to say, I haven't said this before, but the whole idea that I ever got that I thought you could do a game like this was Jamie's game, which you can find, and I'm actually going to put a link in the show notes, which is a Firebrand's a hack of it, which is really dynamite, and the most evocative questions for the setting. If there's something that Jamie is dynamite at, it's pulling out what are the flavor elements and putting those into question and checklist forms. So that's just one of the things. But we've been playing this. This is session 3. And last time we had some hijinks and some adventure and some duels across the board, which is where we will kind of take up in the aftermath of all that. If you're watching this, it's session 3, so you probably already know this, but this session is part of the Gauntlet Hangouts. I'm not calling it Hangouts anymore. I've still got to get used to it. It is the Gauntlet Calendar. It used to be Gauntlet Hangouts when Google Hangouts was a thing. That's gone. We're calling Gauntlet Calendar so people don't get confused. And so we start with this kind of spiel that will make people even more confused. Anyway, you can find out more about this online gaming community at gauntlet-rpg.com. And we do a number of open gaming events each year that are free that you should check out if you're interested in playing online. These are the kinds of games that we do. Heartbreak and all that kind of stuff. That's what we love. What most of us love. There's some trad people in there, but we still put Heartbreak in there. Anyway, so we are here. We are using Lines and Veils, X-Card, and Open Table as our safety tools. So we're going to start by checking in with each of the characters and seeing where they are and if they need to make any adjustments to their entanglements. So let's start with Cass. Cass, where are you XP-wise?
So I'm currently sitting at 3 XP. I leveled up last round and I took the new move Face of an Angel, which I already got to use.
Right. Yes.
And as far as my entanglements go, I'm leaving my romantic entanglement as it is, but I've already updated my general entanglement.
Oh, okay.
So should I do my
Yeah,
intro
tell us what it is. I love it.
So yeah, Cass has updated their general entanglement to say, I don't want to give Johnny fuel to fire his hysteria, but something about Chairman Arakawa is genuinely suspicious.
See, proof!
Proof, because his entanglement changed. And we'll come back to some of the actual proof of something going on that we will see. Let's come to Johnny. Johnny, did you advance last time, or are you still kind of taking up?
I did level up last time. I took just the new kid move where I can go around and ask questions while feigning ignorance or memory loss or whatever.
Which could be true.
Yeah, I mean it's not overly feigning at the moment. I think my romantic entanglement will stay the same, but I'm curious to hear where Scarlet is in her headspace with Ken, because you technically had that duel, but are you satisfied? Do you want revenge?
No, I think she set it up so that he has to come back at her because she said, make him call you by your full name, by Kamal. And then I'll fight you again. So I think her thing is to keep him in the loop because she needs something from him too. So yes.
Okay, cool.
And he's a good-looking guy.
Striking.
Let's come to Scarlet. Scarlet, did you advance last time? And you're muted.
If I could only take the mute off. Yes, I did. I advanced and I took the student handbook move when I attempt to change the loyalty or purpose of a worthy agent of the villain role on a 10 plus my words reach them. They'll act to aid you right now. Yes, that seems like a useful.
Seems like you may have set something up there. We'll see how that goes there. And your entanglements?
My entanglements are the best entanglements. So let's see here. I will stick with my romantic one. Johnny Wynn is my heart. I cannot take my eyes off of him. But everyone agrees that Brandon and I would make the perfect couple.
You would?
Yes. And then Kim, student council secretary, who is gearing up once again to challenge me to a duel. But he knows something about Johnny, and I need to find out what that is.
Oh, that's right. Since we've already established that, like Johnny, Kim. Well, no, Kim is not a first year. It's Brandon that's the second year. So Kim does know something, but we don't know what yet. So we'll have to see if we can get that out on screen. And then Takahiro, did you take an advance last time?
I did, and I also settled on my other move because it was kind of hanging in limbo the whole time. So the move that was hanging in limbo, I decided to choose I've had worse. Getting roughed up a little is nothing more than a typical Tuesday, so I have an extra wounded box just in case we need it. I just have a feeling might come into play. I forgot to mention Takahiro is a delinquent. I picked the beast role, and then with the level up, I got something that I think we were hinting at that Takahiro could do, but I just officialized it with the move. Fist of Fury. When you try to break something which can be broken, roll. On a hit, you break it, and it's pretty impressive. Like I can break really huge things. So I'm looking forward to trying it out. You know, I just jumped into a glass coffin, so might get it. I don't know.
Yeah. I will say, if anyone has not seen it, if you can find it, the actual original as opposed to the cut up Weinstein rap version, there's a movie called Volcano High, which is a Korean sort of weird school movie. I highly recommend it if you can watch it.
It's so good.
It is
so good. And tell us about your entanglements.
Yeah, so Takahiro currently, his entanglements are, I love Brandon, but only know how to express it through attempting to bully them. Only Scarlet knows of my true feelings, but, you know, I'm such a sweet himbo, I have no idea. Scarlet knows. Probably a lot of other people know, let's be honest, but... and I feel protective of Cass, and I angered someone dangerous, Miss Jasper. Like, she totally gives me the creep, so I'm a little protective of Cass.
And last time we saw Miss Jasper a little more actively and learned that Miss Jasper is the shadowy figure who speaks to Cass. So last time we had classes, sort of first a week of the group being back in normal classes after being assigned to this strange fifth dormitory. There were some incidents that occurred, maybe a duel in a classroom versus a angry Adoma who challenged Takahiro, wanted Takahiro to stay away from Brandon. There were various other interactions that went on. There was secret messages given in an elevator to Cass. There was the exploration of an underground passage that led to a room with watery aquariums that just happened to be person-sized that gave Johnny a little bit of a flashback. And they were all numbered, but that was sort of a strange thing. And then there was the call for all of you to attend to the chairman's arrival for his reception, his return. And unusually, apparently, the chairman is a former student who has taken over the role of the chairmanhood, Arakawa, and Johnny has had flashbacks and visions of Arakawa before. And so that sort of tied in. And then the group decided to, while this reception was going on, after a little bit of an argument between Cass and Johnny over this, decided to go and sneak into the chairman's office, and went in there and looked around and found some interesting things, including some yearbooks that obviously are some weird faked up deliberate disinformation thing, because obviously these pictures, they're from previous years, but people have your pictures in them in different iterations. It seems very strange. And then you were confronted by Kamal or Kem, and that was the duel that happened between Scarlet and Kem, which Scarlet came out on top and I don't want to say taunted him, but certainly gave him words at the end. And then the four of you disappeared out into the night. So we take up, and I think the best way to kind of start this is that breakfast the next morning, where we see the four of you, and maybe that kind of quiet where no one quite knows exactly what to say about last night. Scarlet?
Wait, Takahiro is here? That's the last we saw of Takahiro.
Oh, that's right.
Yeah, you can't just cut to breakfast.
Then I think that we will come to Takahiro. Takahiro, you fell into that water, right?
Oh, into the glass with all the flowers and roses.
Yeah. What do you think is the feeling that you have when we see, like, on screen, that kind of vertical cut where it's black on either side, but there's like a tunnel of blue, and we just see the silhouette of Takahiro falling into the water with the rose petals kind of following behind. What does Takahiro feel?
Takehiro's thinking, I have to help Johnny no matter what. I have to find what he needs.
And I think there will be a vision that you will have as you're following, maybe not even in your mind, but through suddenly the kind of flashing lights on the side, and they're like frames of a window, and they start and kind of go faster to the point where we get that persistence of vision, like it becomes like a movie. It's still a little stuttery, but I think we do see two figures standing in someplace. What is the look of this strange dueling arena that we see?
Yeah, I think this one is like, it's bits and pieces. Like Takahiro starts to remember that various parts of the school have always been under renovation, and all of those pieces are like just jumbled together. There's a bit of a library here, there's a bit of a classroom there, and it doesn't quite fit. There are all these weird gaps.
And we see sort of surrounding the dueling arena, maybe it flashes of these aquariums, or maybe people standing. They kind of flash back and forth, and we see Johnny with a sword, and we see Arakawa standing there the sort of the wind picking up and carrying his hair and his cloak flapping in the breeze. And we see Johnny kind of raise up. He's could have got a couple of strategic cuts, and we see him stand up, and then we see standing beside him, kind of helping him up, is Brandon. And Johnny is lifted up and sort of sets himself again. And Arakawa, you see him look, and you don't hear the words, but you know that he's saying, "You're still standing." And then he says, "I will have to play my trump card." And I think that's the point at which you see the sword sprout from Johnny's chest as Brandon stabs him in the back. And then Chlorine, and you come up, and you are in the darkened, like Olympic-sized swimming pool of the gym hall. You come up out of that, your eyes kind of burning as you've seen that, and you grab onto the side, and you are soaking wet. What do you do?
And super hot.
Yeah, absolutely. Like the shirt has come open. It's instead we see that as you come out, you raise up, you're glistening. The little pool lights catch on to you as you come up out of there. You take the jacket off to squeeze it.
Yeah, and I'm like, I come up coughing, and I'm trying to make sense of what I saw. Like, I don't want it to be true, but, and I think I have to talk about Scarlett about this. She'll know what it all means.
Crop top still intact, yes.
Yeah.
So I think we will now kind of cut forward to that, but I think we're going to cut to Takahiro and Scarlett having a moment before you get to breakfast. Scarlett, you're shocked, been maybe probably stayed up a bit and then fell asleep in a chair, and then there's Takahiro. You wake up to see him, the light kind of coming in from the window, still wet.
Yeah, he's dripping on everything.
Yeah, I'm super.
Yeah, even though he's come across
hot.
campus, still moist.
Of course.
Oh, he didn't find the passage back up to the.
Oh no, he was in the pool.
Oh, okay, awesome. All right, yeah, I think the first thing she does is she wakes up, and then she kind of stumbles forward to take the tuxedo jacket from his hand that he's wrung, and she sort of leads him over to her chair and has him sit down, and she goes, "Where have you been?" And she's very carefully pulling the poor tuxedo back into shape. So
I think Takehiro's just gonna, he's just gonna break down crying. Like, I don't think Brandon would, he'd never hurt. It can't be true, right? What I saw, why would Brandon hurt Johnny? I don't.
You know that telling Scarlett this, I mean, that's not going to be good for Brandon. They're revealing the secret.
Oh no, inner conflict. I think
Yeah,
I'm going to do that.
so.
Okay, here we go. I'm making sure I put 2 in the D6 section, just saying that.
As opposed to the D2s.
In case someone needs to. I'm not going to, it's just going to jinx me. Okay, I'm going to roll with, I'm such a mess. Okay, I think I'm trying to stabilize myself, so maybe Earth. Okay, so let's see how it goes. Ooh, 9.
Do you want to mark Earth? Or do you want to overreact?
Ooh.
Like have a scene? Or do you want to just run to your room?
Ooh. I think I'm going to. think I'm going to. Ooh. Okay, I'm just gonna mark an element. I'm gonna mark Earth. I think what it looks like is Takehiro's looks like he's about to lose his shit. Like you can feel the like he's looking at something like he's gonna break it. But he stops and he takes in a deep breath, and they look at you, Scarlet. What I tell you, it's just gonna be between us, right? We're friends.
She nods. She goes, whatever it is that you've seen, I think you need to talk to Brandon about it.
But he's an idiot and he's dumb, and subtitles are like, I love him so much, like that's what's going on. But he's like saying it would be I don't, but could you come with me to talk to him?
I could.
Okay. I think I until I know better, we can't tell Johnny. I don't want Johnny to hate Brandon. I don't think it's right.
And you have at no point actually described what you've seen, have you?
I think it's coming out in bursts. Like I'm just saying, there was a sword, and then the chest, and then a big guy was there. Chairman, not chairman, but chairman now. Like it's not really making sense, right?
Yes. If at any point she sort of parses out what you're saying, or at least a sense of it, her eyes kind of will go very blank, but she is still there for you in every possible way. But yeah, there might be a settling fury that goes on. So a second reckoning for Brandon, perhaps, but that's it. So.
Johnny, Takahiro vanished, and then you had to flee. What is the montage of what you've been doing in the last few hours? Pacing, searching the grounds. What?
Well, I agreed that I had to move out of Cass's room. And of course, the only other room that we've seen in the dormitory is the like semi-haunted one with the secret passage in it.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we see like Johnny dragging his stuff down the hall into this other room, and he's just like pacing back and forth and checking the window and pacing and checking the window. And finally he goes and like lays down in his bed. And as soon as he lays down in his bed, it goes from like sort of a nice nighttime scene, like he turns off the lamp, to it is like black with these horrifying like moon shadows coming in through the windows. He's like dragged a dresser of drawers over in front of I think it was like a statue that opened up to the secret passage, so that nothing can come out in the night. But we see him just like sitting up in his bed, eyes like wide and sleepless. There's the sound of a crow outside. And like that's been his whole night.
The wind rattling the window.
Clawed tree branches coming down, that sort of thing. Yeah.
Cass, how about you? It looks like Johnny has moved out.
So it's like in direct contrast to that scene. Like we see Cass like wake up like in his bed with like like the comforter like pulled up, looking super cozy, and like the his night was like super calm and quiet and everything like that. And it would have appeared like super restful, except like he sits up in the bed and then looks over to the side, and the yearbook that he stole is just sitting there on the bed, and like he just kind of gives it like a side eye.
And I think we will now see the two of you kind of come down to the breakfast and see probably still mussed and a little shaken Takahiro seated talking with Scarlet, though Takahiro stops talking when the two of you come in. And I assume Cass, Johnny, strategically not looking at each other when you enter the room.
Is Cass even here? I hadn't noticed.
No.
So I'm sure I came down here completely on my own, and someone just happened to be following me.
Takahiro! And Johnny will like run over, like he's gonna like grab up Takahiro in a hug or something, but like skid to a stop, like a couple feet away from him. You're wet.
Yeah. Oh, sorry. And very sexy shot of me removing my crop top. As and I'm having a hard time looking at Johnny in the eye, and I just say, I'm sorry. I messed up. I haven't found it yet, but I'll keep looking.
What? No, it's fine. What? No, it's we had to run. It was like crazy last night and stuff. So I'm sure you're swimming to safety.
Oh, last night it wasn't. It was just wasn't it just a few? How long has it been?
Well, looks over at clock. It's daylight. Like I don't know, hours.
Yeah. That should be. And then Tucker like sits down, like it's too much for their brain to process.
I'll pass him the plate of toast.
Meanwhile, while this is going
Takahiro
on,
doesn't eat. Anyway, go on.
I was just gonna say, while this is happening, like Cass kind of slides in next to Scarlet and very nonchalantly just says, "So Scarlet, about the homework from last night, I've run into a problem that I'm having a very hard time figuring out. I think it's a bit of a logic puzzle, and I was hoping we could discuss it at some point."
And she sort of stops. You see, she actually looks a little alarmed because when it comes to those sorts of things, you're definitely better at them than she is. She goes, yes, I find it very helpful to talk those things through, but she's very guarded when she says that. Like she has no idea what you're up to.
But I think that's the time when they realize that you need to get ready to go to class, that that you need to head out, which in this world is something that cannot be missed, unless you skip class, like Johnny, who will be confronted about that. And I do think we get that mess of everybody grabbing up things, book bags, backpacks, stuffing faces with food and rushing across campus. And I think we'll get shots and scenes from various classes. So Scarlett, what's a class that you have that the other students aren't in, that your fellow dorm mates aren't in?
Oh, I have a home ec class.
Okay.
I definitely have a home ec class.
And what's the bit that we see? Are you a skilled preparer of food? Are you a terrible preparer of food? What do we see on screen during this, or are you just distracted?
I think what you see is that she's distracted. She's clearly made a serviceable, set of tea cakes. But what you do see is that all of the other girls bring her their tea cakes for her to try. So it's that sort of thing, is that she has many gifts that have been given to her for people who want to be her friends.
Yeah, and all of them have somehow they brought boxes with little bows and things on them that just happen to have. And oh, maybe you try this, and we can see you trying one, and then the camera kind of pans and we see the stack of boxes next to you of all the gifts, of all the young ladies and young men who have just want your opinion on these things.
Exactly.
Takahiro, what kind of class do you think you have that the others don't have?
I accidentally got into the elective of ballroom dancing for PE. I thought it was a different class.
And so what do we see? There are a lot of people who are very enthused about this. It takes place in the gym. You see some of the people have those nice dresses and gowns and things to do this. I assume Takahiro does not, or does he?
I think he came in these like in a PE uniform, and then his teacher grabbed him, stuffed him into a closet, so he's wearing a secondhand like ballroom, like with the tails and everything.
Yeah, the
suit.
the little cuffs on the pants maybe a little too high
Exactly.
on there. And so we see you. Are you good at ballroom dancing, or is this super awkward?
I think it's one of those things where everyone's holding their breath until Takahiro actually starts dancing, because dancing and fighting are a little similar. But he's much better dancing with other boys than with dancing with the girls. He has a hard time with that.
Absolutely. And we will see you go around, and there are people who are looking at you, kind of nodding, like, oh, and they're maybe whispering things, and maybe they're complimenting you, but when you give them the eye, then they all get quiet because they're all terrified of you.
I think I try to look at them to ask a question, but my face comes out darker than I mean to, and it looks like I'm about to like scream at them.
And Cass, what about you? What's a class that you have that nobody else has?
So despite the general demeanor that Cass has and the way that he dresses, he's actually also in the tennis class. So and it's one of those things that like he'll kind of like bounce onto the court and like do his like usual cute self stuff, but then as soon as like a serve comes in, it's like a meteor hammer just like slamming the ball back across the way. Like it's one of those things where the other person's racket like has a hole in it now, and then he just like smiles and is like super like cute about it. But there's secretly everyone is terrified of playing
Oh
against
yeah,
him.
the like the next person to go up, like they're having to push them out onto the court, but and I assume that we see your two assistants are like up on the line judges seats doing the calling for this. Somewhere there's a teacher, but we don't see them on camera for this moment. And Johnny, what about for you? What is a class that you have that nobody else has?
I think it's a like painting class. He's in there with the other students. They have easels and they're working on their own projects. And I think Johnny is painting like 3 figures, but they all have that like explosion of shadow and cloud over where their heads should be, sort of like his tarot card. But it's 3 figures in front of a like broken, fractured background, 2 of them with swords out and 1 with a long flowing cape.
And I think then the camera kind of tilts, and we see that there's actually a model who's sitting there, and everybody is doing sketches of the model, and the teacher is coming around and looks at everybody and nods and comes over to you and looks at you, Johnny. Mr. Wynn?
What?
And she gestures to the model.
Yeah, you said paint what you see, and you see him like look at the model and then look back at his painting, and he looks really confused, like, who painted this?
Mr. Wynn, from the top again, and she'll kind of tear that off and take that over to her desk.
Johnny looks really confused for a minute before he starts like sketching out the person in front of him again, though with the like exploded shadow head.
And we'll see a little more of that class stuff. I think we do see a brief moment of the four of you together in another class, and this is your math class, your statistics class, statistics and probability, and I think we see the teacher there. We see, let's say, Dr. Notsum is there, and he's talking about ratios and randomness and so on. And he says, and let me illustrate this next proposition. Burncastle, come up.
Yes. And Cass walks up to the board and holds the chalk.
No, come here. And he opens up one of his drawers and he pulls out a deck of cards and he hands them to you. How many cards in a typical deck, Cass?
52, excluding
52.
jokers.
Well, and this happens to be a tarot deck, so a little more than that for this case.
78.
Absolutely. Tell me now, how many shuffles, how many iterations, how many combinations of this card, how many shuffles do you need to get true randomness with this deck?
Cass looks down at the deck and starts to just like shuffle them. And like you can hear him counting like 1, 2, 3, 4, and just keeps like going as like not sure when to stop. And eventually like probably around like 10 shuffles, like
when you hit 7, he says, that's enough. That's all you need. 7 shuffles is all you need. Less, and there's still things cut together. But once we get to 7 iterations, 7 loops of this, then we have true randomness. Any more, and it's just over the top. My cards?
Cass looks down at the cards and then like slowly hands them back and is thinking very, very purposefully with a very stern look on their face.
And he'll put that in the drawer. And I think we need a club scene then to cap this off. So I know what Cass and Johnny's club is, and we'll come back to that in a moment. What club does Scarlett belong to?
Other than student council?
Yes. Anime club, sports club, sewing.
Yeah.
Music club. Fencing. What do you think?
Oh goodness. I think, oh gosh, it has to be something. I think she plays volleyball.
Okay.
So
is she an aggressive volleyball player? Is she a supportive volleyball player? What do we see, with you on that team?
She very much plays a support role and is also sort of definitely like when she's on her side, everyone listens to her, if that makes any sense. But she really clearly the volleyball, club does a thing where they shuffle the teams. It's not like it's team A versus B and that stays or anything like that. Like they switch persons that are on it. But she sort of falls into that. And when she's playing with that team, you could tell that that she loves those people right then completely. And her eyes are all crazy for the, against the other team. And then when it switches again, same thing.
And you're a freshman, so you're on the junior volleyball team. But today they're bringing in the varsity volleyball team, and you will see them come in their nice uniforms. Of course, with the captain of the varsity volleyball team, you'll see Brandon there. And when you see Brandon on the opposing side, do you try to talk to him? Do you try to destroy him? What do you think?
Let's see here. It's interesting. I think she probes it. Does that make any sense?
Okay.
And if there's an opportunity, yes, she'll spike the ball into his face. But that's
Then let's have you roll duel.
Oh,
because it will, as this goes along, like it becomes clear that it's a match between you and Brandon, that the others are a little scared because Brandon will spike it towards you and it'll hit another one of your teammates in the face and they're taken out. We see a little stretcher of them being pulled off and another person's put into place.
Okay, so we'll do that, and then I think my thing is +2 still. I can't find my character sheet. Here we go. Yes, I'm still at +2. So this is Earth. Caution, focus, and presence. So yeah, I think it's like, she goes up to do the spike, and it's like definitely her. She matches eyes with him and hits it really hard. Let's see how this goes. Oh, geez. Oh yes, 12.
So there is that moment when he's like kind of going to move for it, and then you're up, and we see like the two-hand overhand smash onto this, and we see Brandon look up, and there's that shadow of the volleyball on his face, and then that boom sound of the ball hitting him, and then he's laid out, and we can see that his nose is bruised, and they're pulling him off, and of course people point to your side.
And I'll walk over very sweetly and say, "Good game." Put my hand up to say yes.
He's a student council member, so he slaps your hand away. Takahiro, what's your club?
I just get stolen by different sports club members if they're brave enough to come up and talk with me. If not, I'm just hanging out on the roof.
So what is it today? Are you hanging out up there?
I think someone was actually brave enough to talk to me to pull me into the basketball club.
Okay.
Yeah.
And what kind of basketball player are you?
I'm the kind who doesn't realize they're playing basketball. They're a bit too aggressive. Like they just when they come down with the basketball, it's a bit too intimidating. When they slam with the ball, it's a bit too much. So like really, really hardcore.
What do you break during the course of this? A person? Is it a net? Is it the backboard? Is it a basketball?
Ooh, I think there's a moment when I do a slam dunk and I think about Brandon. Like I go back to that moment with the sword through Johnny's chest and I rip off the net ring by accident. Like the entire ring just comes down with me.
Comes down, crashes to the ground. Who is watching you unusually at this time?
Ooh, let's see. Oh, we have to make it creepy. It has to be Miss Jasper. Like I don't realize she's watching from the bleachers.
There's the whistle, and they call time, and you see them go and get another hoop. They clearly have them ready in case of this, but your eyes will see Miss Jasper seated over with just a little PDA, little pen, and is making notes and watching you.
And I just like wave really nervously.
Sees you wave, see her pause, tap something else on the PDA. And Cass, Johnny, what does the literature club room look like? Cass?
So it actually looks like an old style medical theater, like where you have like the operating stage, and then you have like the high risers with like the seats all around it. And then like so that people who are on the stage are performing, and then like they don't even see the audience because they're all higher up.
There are when we pull back, we do see the books around the outside. And it's a well-populated club. Johnny, when we see you here, what's your attitude?
Oh, Johnny's like definitely in the very back row, like feet up on the seats in front of him. He's got a couple of books like laying propped half open on the chair next to him or on the floor next to him, and just like in the shadows, trying not to be noticed by Cass, especially.
And you've just finished a reading of, this was for this week. You're reading Borges. You've just finished the classic short story, The Garden of Forking Paths, which is all about labyrinths and different choices, and kind of hinting at an idea of infinite possibilities for things. So, Cass, what do we see you? Are you in charge of the literature club? Have you become de facto president?
I have actually. I think that there was probably a previous club president, but they mysteriously stopped coming to classes when I requested to my benefactor that I had wanted to be the president.
So tell us how you lead. Like, what's the next reading, or how do you manage club activities here?
I think that it's another one of those things where you would kind of expect Cass to be really bossy, but it turns out that they're actually like super thoughtful, and they spend a lot of time helping the younger kids like understand the material, and like they lead discussions on it, and very often they ask other people to read and lead so that they can get more experience like talking in front of people.
What is the next reading you're going to do?
Uh, I think that it's going to be something about, you know what it is? It's actually going to be Don Quixote.
Okay. Johnny, what here demonstrates that maybe you're not as above this as you think you are? Is it helping another student? Is it interest in something? What do you think it is?
So I think Cass is up there and like announcing that the next book is going to be Don Quixote. So, everybody needs to read this much by next week's meeting or whatever. And Johnny has already pulled out like his personal, like tattered, broken spine paperback of it. He's got like notes and highlight places, and he's like halfway through rereading it as Cass is up there making the announcement.
And one of the students near you kind of sees that and turns, maybe like they're going to say something to you. How do you react to that?
What? I just found this one. It's what? Did you say something?
And they go back to their own thing. Cass, who is watching the class today? Because people can kind of stop in and look and listen to the oral presentations and so on. Who is unusually watching the class on this day? Or the club, rather.
Just because I'm going to drag it straight towards the drama, I think it's actually the chairman.
And, Johnny, you'll get a chill as the club kind of finishes up, and you'll hear footsteps kind of come down. Of course, because of the lighting, he kind of walks down into the light, and it's only once he's sort of down towards close by Cass that you can see Arakawa. The chairman is there, and the chairman says, "Miss Berncastle."
Chairman Arakawa, it's a pleasure for you to attend our little meeting today.
I've always had a fondness for the literature club. I was pleased by the performance of your two members, and he gestures at your assistants. But I was given to think that you were supposed to read at the reception. Did something happen?
And Cass feigns like modesty and like places a hand on his chest and says, "Oh well, it is always." It is always a blessing when I am able to raise up the students who have done so well. And Christy and Agatha are particularly adept at delivering that particular monologue in the round. It really highlights the skills that they've developed over this last semester. And I wanted to highlight their particular contributions to the club.
Well, it's interesting because after the performance, and someone mentioned to me that you were supposed to go, but they had. I looked to thank you for this. That's why I came here today, because I couldn't find you.
Yes, unfortunately, I seem to have come down with something, and like feigns to like dab at his forehead, and just very obviously like coming up with excuse after excuse. So I feel like this is probably some sort of role,
Oh
like
yeah, I think this is
inner
inner
conflict or
conflict.
overcome.
Yeah, to hold yourself together in the face of this, and then
So,
we'll see how Johnny reacts.
so I think that this is. I think it's fire, because I'm like creativity and speed, like on the spot, just like, because I didn't think I'd have to come up with a cover story. What is this?
And it's
I
Johnny's
am
fault.
totally Johnny's fault. Thank God he moved out. And I'm rolling 2d6 this time. I still rolled a 3.
Go ahead and mark your fire. And it's the way that he stands and the way that he nods and the way that he looks at you that he knows. That you can almost tell that even as you're here, you can almost tell that someone's in the dormitory and that yearbook is not going to be there when you get back. Johnny, you see Cass like kind of like clearly under pressure. I mean, are you delighted, or are you? What do you do?
I think he's sort of like, we see him looking down at Cass, and Cass is getting more stammered and like red faced, and it's obviously not going well. And Johnny sort of like smiles a little bit, but then he looks over at Arakawa, and Arakawa is just like confident and slimy and beaming, and yeah, and Johnny's face sets. And he stalks down the stairs towards him. So, Arakawa, interesting to see you in this new role.
When, isn't it?
Yes, I do.
That joke must not get old for you.
So, are you settling in well? Feel like you've got things under control?
Absolutely. How are you settling in? I understand that you and Mr. Burncastle have been assigned to the new dorm.
Yes, it's been interesting digging through the history of the school.
Well, I know that we've thrown you in the deep end, as it were, recovering from your illness, but I hope that you'll be able to stay afloat. Thank you, Mr. Burncastle. I will hope to hear a reading from you soon. Oh, by the way, don't forget that, in fact, we may have not mentioned this to you, next week, each of the dorms is to put on a play for the school. There's a budget for sets and so on. I know you're only working with 4 people, but I'm sure you can figure something out. He'll turn and walk away.
Cass just turns on Johnny immediately. It's like, what have you gotten me into? Why is the chairman showing up at my club activities?
Obviously, he has some sort of plan going on.
Yes, well, I am sure that someone with his power and influence is not someone we should be digging into, Johnny. I'm pretty sure I was just intimidated, like in a mafia way.
He shouldn't. There's no way he shouldn't have that sort of power.
And yet, here we are. I'm pretty sure that I'm going to go back to my dorm and I'm going to find things just slightly off and something missing.
No, you don't understand. It's not. I don't know how to. It's not his. He shouldn't be here. Or he shouldn't be there, or I don't know. It's all so confused.
I should have never listened to you. Now the chairman has set us with this ridiculous task and we have to perform a play in a week?
Yeah, we're doing Hamlet.
Can you imagine? Wait, I can't imagine Takahiro as Hamlet. That's not a bad idea.
I have good ideas.
Well, it's nice to see one for once, okay?
I guess I'll see you at rehearsal or whatever.
The end cast like turns on their heel and storms off.
Different directions.
Yep.
I would like to move to a scene of the 4 of you together, like the chance that you finally have to maybe talk quietly. Of course, Cass, when you did return, well, the yearbook was there, but it's a different yearbook, clearly. Like, it's the same date, but all the pictures are different. Did you just imagine it? Or did somebody swap this out? Or did it change? So we'll assume there's like a little sitting room, with nice chairs and side tables and things like that, and lamps that the 4 of you can sit in. And the camera comes to you. And what are you saying, Scarlett?
No idea. I think she has said to Takahiro, I'm very sorry. I may have hit Brandon in the face with the volleyball today.
In the face?
Yes.
Is he okay? Like Takahiro saying it, but also decidedly not looking at Johnny as he says it.
How in the face are we talking?
And she goes, it was all red afterwards. And it wasn't a blush.
And like swollen?
Not, I think that would be later.
Oh, good. So there's still, I'll make sure to look in and see how he's doing.
Yeah, it was an errant hit. So what can I say?
Total accident. Yeah, no, I understand. Wink, wink.
Yeah, sometimes things just go awry. You know how it is, hero.
You just can't control the laws of physics and probability sometimes.
I think Takahiro's just gonna get up and leave. They check on Brandon. I think without a word, he just gets up and starts to walk. Unless someone's gonna stop him.
Yeah, I'd stop him and go, no, we have to talk about the play, but then you should go, because I did hit him pretty hard.
No, I wasn't going to go. No, I was gonna get another meat shake from the dumbwaiter.
Oh, I'll order one now then. So, Hamlet, you say, Cass?
And Cass like looks up where there's like a stack of papers and scripts, and you can see that they're obviously trying to rewrite all of the lines so that Takahiro can deliver them. Like you see, like, you know, like to be or not to be has been crossed out, and it's like to bro or not to bro. And says, yes, I've greatly abbreviated the play so that we can perform it in 10 minutes.
Ooh.
Johnny's like flipping through pages. What? No, you've cut out the whole drowning of Ophelia scene. That's like the most important part. We have to keep that in there.
Okay, but who's going to play Ophelia? I don't want to get my hair wet.
I'll do it.
See?
Okay,
Perfect
fine.
Ophelia. She already looks pale and wan.
Mm-hmm.
Look sad for us, Scarlett. Can you look sad? Oh, so sad. Oh.
Well, fine. I was going to have Scarlett play both Rosencrantz and Guildenstern, but I guess I'll cut them instead.
No, I could do that too.
That's a lot of heavy lifting, Scarlett.
Well, what about thing 1 and thing 2?
Oh, wait, that's a different story, Johnny.
No, you know, what's their names?
Oh, unkind.
So, and then it's
Could we
like,
borrow Agatha and Christy though?
they have names. Is it like finally realizes that you're actually talking about my club members? It's like, this is a dorm only thing, and they have to do their own play. They're playing 2 of the 3 witches in Macbeth.
Fine,
Who's
I
the
guess.
third?
Let's say it's someone like completely like incongruous with the role, like probably like Jareth or someone.
Yes.
So, and then it basically is just like, there's so much stressful. Also, Johnny, you're playing Claudius. And for the brief scene that Claudius gets stabbed, I'm playing Hamlet.
Well, yeah, I mean, I should be king, right? That's obvious. Like, I should definitely be king.
You should be shanked. That's what you should be.
Oh, I'll have a death scene and everything. Oh my God, no one will. They're just going to be talking about it. How much fake blood can we get a hold of before the performance?
You're weirdly more into this than I thought you would be.
Drama and ghosts, death and murder. What's not to love?
Well, I think that's like the point where like Cass realizes there might be like the opportunity for a segue here, and then says, "So are we going to talk about last night?"
I'll get meat shakes for us all, and then yes.
It's like, make mine vanilla and vegetarian.
All right.
But I think at that point, like when we're all settled in, like Cass finally tells everybody about the yearbooks and about the fact that the yearbook that he now has is not the same yearbook that he took from the chairman's office and is not revealing any strangeness.
He's trying to cover up something. He's trying to cover up his part in all this.
But what kind of part is it? What kind of like plot is it to make a whole bunch of yearbooks that act as if we've been doing this for 20 years?
I don't know. If I could remember, everything would be a lot easier.
Is there anything that suggests that we have been doing this for 20 years?
Well, I certainly don't look like I'm, 37, so.
No.
Takahiro?
Oh, no, I don't know anything. I didn't see anything. I don't know. Nothing. No.
But you fell into the coffin. What happened? Where were you all night?
I didn't, see die sword chest. I should, I stand up again to just automatically start moving towards the door.
Die?
Cass gets in the way and like pokes a finger in your chest and is like, Takahiro, what do you know? You're acting like someone who knows something and doesn't know how to lie about it.
No, I don't know anything. My brain, not, no. I,
Takahiro? Is
and I
he
think
right?
Tucker is like,
Are you
please, Johnny, don't look at me. Johnny, don't look
are
at me.
you lying to us?
I'm
One
not-
more inner conflict, Takahiro.
This is so hard.
Oh no, if he flees, we could get hurt.
Oh my gosh. Okay. Okay. Yeah. And unfortunately, I'm trying to like control. So that sounds like metal, which is a 0, but nothing else makes sense. Okay, let's see. Oh, I think I have one. I have one bond.
Yeah, you got a couple bonds. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, so I can at least get it to, I don't want it to be worse. So, yeah, but I think I'm definitely going to choose the option of, I think I'm gonna flee the scene. I don't think it's, poor Takahiro can't stay. It's too much.
How do you comically exit the scene?
I think Takahiro sees the dumbwaiter open up, and then he'll just try to dive into it again.
Yeah, and you always see Takahiro make a run for the dumbwaiter.
Oh no, the shakes.
As it comes open, and yeah, there's a big tray of shakes there.
Oh.
And we want to stop Takahiro, or else Takahiro is going to A, get covered with shakes, and B, be in the magic dumbwaiter.
I was the one who ordered them, so I'm probably standing right there. I think I'll step in front of it.
Takahiro, do you think that she can stop you, or is I'm not sure this rises to the level of PvP, but
Takiro's so overwhelmed. He doesn't want to talk about Johnny dying.
Scarlett's really giving you a choice of you can escape, but you're going to have to push her, potentially hurt her to do that.
What? Can I hurt myself instead?
She's in the way. Do you want to bring yourself up short?
Yeah, I'm gonna be like, Scarlett, please, I have to talk to Brandon.
And she nods, she goes, do you want me to tell him?
No, I should do this on my own.
When?
I'll go now. I'll be back, and I'll explain everything to John. I mean, everybody. I'll explain everything to everybody.
Johnny, Cass, what's your reaction to this?
Well, obviously Scarlett knows more than she's telling us as well. So I can't believe I'm like, I probably slide over to Johnny and just be like, since when were they so close?
Don't like secrets. He like leans in conspiratorially next to you. It's just like weird and unnatural to see them so close like that.
Right?
He says right up against your face.
Yeah, like, and it's so like incongruous because like the two of us like generally try to put as much distance between each other as possible, and then like Cass is just like, right, and I didn't even know that they were that close, and apparently they are sharing secrets and keeping secrets from me. Scarlett is keeping a secret from me.
Wait, I mean, do you think they're like close? They're not like close though, right? Because that would be like, wait, are they?
Dating? Oh my god, are they dating?
Oh my god, they're totally dating. Why didn't I see this before?
Oh my goodness. No, we have to be happy for them. We have to be happy and supportive, even though this makes no sense.
I guess as long as Takihiro's not going after Brandon anymore, I should be happy, right? I can be happy for him.
Yes. Oh, I didn't realize Takahiro was into Brandon. That also makes sense.
What? No. This is all awful. And I think, like, as we're saying this, like, the two of us are looking over at the two of them with these big, supportive, fake smiles as we're, like, talking through our teeth at each other.
Oh yeah, and I do think
Scarlett?
it's like Scarlett, like patted his face. It's like it's okay, and she'll sort of turn him around and point him towards the regular door, and she'll go and talk.
Okay. And Takahiro turns around again and hugs Scarlett.
Okay.
I'll be back.
S is just like,
Yeah.
Cass, Johnny, may I have your inner conflict rolls?
Yes, control and calculation. I'm so happy. So happy it's an 8.
Do you want to mark an element? Do you want to flee? Do you want to overreact?
Oh, sorry, frozen for a second. Johnny just like wide-eyed, sort of looking back and forth, fake smile still plastered on his face, just stands up and goes, I have homework. I have to go do homework now. Somewhere else. Bye.
Whoosh. Cass?
I rolled with wood, which is patience, growth, and curiosity, which was a -1, and I still managed to get a 7.
Yes.
So, yeah, and I think that Cass also like, oh, but I want to interrogate Scarlett on this, so I'm gonna mark wood to hold steady.
Then Takahiro, you can rush out into the night to go and find Brandon. But that leaves Cass and Scarlett there in that room, and we'll come back to Brandon and Takahiro. The second, Scarlett, Cass is standing there expectantly.
Yeah, you had a logic puzzle?
Clever way to avoid the very obvious questions that I have.
What are you talking about? Takahiro will tell you when he comes back.
I thought we were closer than that, Scarlett. I thought I could hear it from you first.
He asked me not to tell.
Those rules don't apply to best friends.
And she sort of blinks. It's just that what he saw was really hard on him.
Wait. Are we talking about the same thing here?
I'm talking about the same thing I've been talking about.
Cass just like it's like a beat, like 1, 2, 3. Perhaps I've misjudged this situation. And then like just straightens up and says, well, fine. We will wait for Takahiro to tell me the thing that is definitely not that the two of you are dating, apparently. Says that last part under their breath, and says, and like you can see that there's like a little bit of a relax. It's like, okay, that's fine. I didn't see that coming. So, and then, but at that point, like segues into the thing about the yearbooks and talking about something's going on with the chairman. I didn't want to give Johnny the benefit of the doubt on this, but it's a really elaborate ruse for something that doesn't make like. How would he know we were going to eventually sneak into his offices and to plant some sort of joke like that?
He wouldn't.
Exactly.
So the thing that's bothering me is that there's this story of the previous freshman class being wiped out and just Johnny Brandon left, did you see faces that we don't see anymore in these books? Or is that some sort of weird, elaborate lie?
And I think back to like the yearbook that I saw, and I say, it wasn't anybody else that wasn't in our class. I don't know anything about the previous class except that they apparently all got expelled, which something really terrible must have happened.
You heard it as expelled?
I mean, of course. What else would have happened to them?
It's odd. There are certain words that when I hear them, they are euphemisms for death. I must have misheard. Because this is...
Okay, if an entire class of people died, do you really think that there's any chance our parents would have continued to send us to this school? I mean, my older sister came here and there was no issue whatsoever with her class.
That she told you.
That's the unspoken part.
That's in the subtext titles.
She goes, okay, so maybe everything is normal.
Well, except for the yearbooks.
And a chairman who's just, what, a year older than us?
Did I tell you that he showed up to the literature club today?
No, it just makes you sit down.
And then like Cass like kind of like forgets for a moment that it was actually a serious thing. It's like, yes, and like complimented Christy and Agatha on their reading, and like, and he looked so handsome as well, so debonair, like a young, like briefly goes into like fangirl mode, and then like brings it back to like, but then he asked why I wasn't at the function last night, and before today, I didn't realize that he knew who I was.
Don't see. I mean, it's his job to know who you are, isn't it?
He's the chairman. He doesn't need to worry about individual students. His responsibility is the entire academy.
I still think it should be his job. But do you think that's why this is different?
I just don't know what to think right now. But I know that I can't let it sit. I need to find out what's going on.
I agree.
I'm going to cut there to Takahiro. Of course, as student council members, they have their own like luxury apartments in the dorms. And so you will arrive at Brandon's room. Do you knock? Do you just force your way in? What do you do?
Oh, I come in through the window.
Okay. Then I think you'll climb up the ivy, come in through the window, kind of throw it open, and you'll see Brandon on a divan, sitting there, bathrobe out. You see two handsome young men who are clearly, feeding him and helping with the homework. He has, of course, as you do in anime, he's uninjured except for this bandage that's across the nose to essentially mark that he had a facial injury.
And I knock on the window in the way that I used to when I used to sneak into the bedroom for discussions.
And I think he will gesture to the two of them, and he stands up and comes over to the window and pulls the curtain closed.
And I do it again, except louder this time. Like the glass is threatening to crack.
Use the door.
I think Takahiro is like about to like force it open, and then he remembers the conversation about changing. And he's like, rush, 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 rush. Then he goes out to another room, gets through their window,
Ah!
and then comes out through the door. Close enough.
You'll knock and you'll hear, Justin, get that. And one of the two young men will open the door. Yes?
I glare at them.
And he steps back.
I need to talk to Brandon in private.
And they look at him like they're clearly scared, like worried for his safety in the presence of this delinquent. And Brandon's like, it's fine, it's fine. They out. Takahiro?
I slowly close the door, and I don't look at him. And I say, Brandon, please, I'm going to ask you something. Don't lie to me. Okay?
What are you going to ask me?
I saw there was this thing in the chairman's office. I saw you with the chairman. I saw you hurt Johnny. You wouldn't do that, would you?
I don't know what you're talking about, he lies.
I'm going to turn around and you still haven't learned how to lie to me properly, Brandon. No matter how fucking smart you are, you still can't lie to me.
You shouldn't dig too far, Takahiro.
I have to protect my friends. If you're hurting them, please, Brandon, don't
He
make me
stands
choose.
up and he's over to you and he puts his hand on your shoulder. I thought I was your friend. Don't you have to protect me?
Don't make me roll into conflict again.
What do you think?
I think I'm going to say, you're more than my friend, and you know that, Brandon. You goddamn asshole.
Let's have you make that move.
It's true. Do I punch or kiss him? It's true. Like I don't. Am I doing an inner conflict to see if I punch him or kiss him?
No, I think this is it's not like I like you or anything. You're trying
that
to
is very
switch this
true.
around. You're trying to turn the stakes.
Okay. Oh my gosh. I'm going to. I definitely think it's a. Okay. Gonna roll with fire. Let's see how it goes. Okay. It's a 7. Yeah, this is 7. Not too bad. So on a 7 to 9, they suspect your more tender feelings.
You see him pause and he says, I'm sorry that you're going to have to choose between them and me. I know how much it's going to hurt you to do that.
And I like grab him by the bathrobe, and I say, I won't have to choose if you choose me.
And he pushes you away. You have to change.
And I say, who do I have to fight? Who do I have to duel? Just tell me, just point me in their direction.
And he pauses and he goes, You'll find out. I promise you that.
Fine. And your stupid face, it looks fine.
I'm glad to see you too.
And I go out the window.
Oh, nice. Let's take our break there. Let's take 10 and then we'll come back. Okay.
See ya.
So I think when we come back, I think I want to start with Johnny. Do you want to do a scene just of you with an NPC? Do you want to do scene doing action scenes? Doing something? Do you want to do a paired scene with another PC?
So I think an NPC.
Okay.
As I think he runs out into onto the grounds there. It's is it nighttime? Did we say at this point?
Sure, if you want to do that, or we can do the next day, however, whatever time lapse you want to do there.
I think it's there. Bats. At nighttime, but I think there's like he runs out. He's sort of not really paying attention to where he's going, and he ends up at the foot of a clock tower that's like in the middle of campus.
Mm-hmm.
And he like shakily pulls out a cigarette lighter from his pocket, but before he can light it, he leans back against the clock tower, and like the brick that he leans back against sinks in. And I'd like to find a secret passage.
Let's have you roll.
I think that's just a thing.
Oh, that's right. Yeah, once per session. Yeah. So this opens up. Where does it go?
I want to find a secret passage to wherever the chairman is right now.
Absolutely. I think you can follow the passage. It will lead up, and you'll find yourself in that grand hall again, where they had the party, where the chairman's office overlooks the area, essentially where you were yesterday. What do you want to do?
Is he in there? Is anybody
Are you heading up to go and take the tiger by the tail in his office?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm not done confronting him from earlier, or if I don't run into him, like maybe I can find whatever weird yearbook Cass has been going on about.
Well, I think he's up in his office. Given the choice, I think that you can barge in if you wish.
Yeah, his door is conveniently unlocked. Comes flying open, sort of bangs against the door, but Johnny is like keeping himself sort of cool and walks slowly forward to sit down in one of the chairs in front of Arakawa's desk and like throw his feet up on the edge of it.
Mr. Wynn, did you have an appointment?
No, I don't think I did, Arakawa.
That's Mr. Arakawa.
Is it though? You
It
seem
is.
pretty young. Wouldn't Mr. Arakawa be your father?
My father is dead, and I am in charge of the school.
That's so interesting. So young, and yet in charge of the school. Must be quite a story.
Was there something you needed, Mr. Wynn?
just came by to let you know that I
I'm sorry?
know that
You
you're a
know.
fraud. I know that you're a cheat, and I know that you were never meant to be one of the major arcana.
Interesting, interesting.
And I'm trying to, in general, I'm trying to fake some answers out of him.
What do you want to roll that with?
Sort of fits in the new kid move there. Oh God. It's wood because I'm waiting him out and trying to get him to break and give some details first. And I don't want to have to mark my fighting element if I need to fight him in a moment.
All right. Well, let's see what happens.
It's 9 minus 1 is 8. On a hit, they take you at your word and answer the question honestly. The question is basically like, how did he manage to slip his way into this position? What did he do that got him here?
Just, I worked my way honestly up the ladder. My father, not really my father, but let's just call him that, had the chair, and now I do. I will hold it again.
No. I don't even think you're going to last the year this time.
Really? He leans forward and he says, "Do you remember your sister?"
I remember everything I need to.
You can go now.
Fine. I'll be back for you, though.
I look forward to that.
And I think, like, as he stalks out, he grabs the door and slams it behind him hard enough that, like, one of the hinges breaks and it sort of leans halfway open again.
I will tell you something that you did note when you were in this. Perhaps a crack in the facade is those yearbooks that Cass mentioned. There were none of them on that shelf anymore.
Just like a suspiciously empty shelf.
Yes. Let's come to Scarlet. Do you want a scene with an NPC, with a PC, by yourself?
It's interesting. I think she does the thing where she kind of goes out on a balcony that she's found, like from one of the second floor sitting rooms. It's not very big. It's just a little wedge of a room.
Mm-hmm.
And she's sort of watching for Takahiro. I think she sees Kim walking by below. And she's going to lean out and go, "Wait for me." And then she'll like run through the house to go outside to meet him.
I was just in the area.
It's
Wasn't
possible.
looking for you or anything. Just around here. It's where the. Then he reaches down. The basil. Yeah, they have basil here. in the herb boxes.
She looks down at the cilantro and the mint and kind of goes, so are we going to duel again?
It'll depend.
What does it depend on?
Depends on whether they say we should.
I don't know who they is. You have that advantage on me.
You get the notes, you know.
I've never gotten a note.
I don't understand. Then why would they? But you have a card, right?
Yes. Yes, I do. Do you want to see it?
We're not. You're not. Yes.
Okay. She goes, if they tell you you're not supposed to do something, I always think you should try it at least once.
And you will draw that out. And he will look at it, and then he will reach in and he will draw out a card from the inside of his uniform jacket pocket. What suit is it?
It's snakes, if I remember correctly.
And I think that we have the Herald as one of the ranks. We have the Ace as one of the ranks. We have the Prince as one of the ranks. So I think he is the Prince of Snakes.
She looks at it, she goes, snakes are good. That's rebirth. You will always be able to start over.
I should go. Like he's clearly like now he's like super awkward.
She kind of stops and goes, can you tell me one thing? Do you have an advantage now that you know what my card is?
Have you make a study roll for me?
All right. Let's do 2. I'll be adding 1 to it. So it gives me a 9.
And what is your question?
I think my question is what does he really want?
Oh, he has a big old massive crush on you.
Okay.
And he was, kind of wandered here, didn't know what he was going to ask, and now and then yeah, that's why he's here. I should go.
You didn't answer my question.
And he's gone.
He owes me one.
Cass, let's come to you. What kind of scene do you want? You are still muted.
Stupid controller. I think I want to do my Faust move again. So this time, though, it's like I'm in the rose garden, like in the greenhouse, and like as I come around a path, there's just like a small like table with a rotary phone on it, like in the middle of the garden.
But of course, there's one of those big glass cases over it, so you can actually see that it's vibrating, but you can't hear it. And when you lift up the glass, then like the seal is broken and you can hear it ringing.
And I reach out and it looks like almost shot for shot the same as like the last episode when I did this, but like with the background just different.
Absolutely.
Pick it up.
It's how we save money. Cassian.
Oh.
Has your desire changed?
Yes. I don't know what is happening with the duels or the chairman or Johnny or any of that. But what I know now is that I want to win. So if I become the champion of the duels, then perhaps I'll get the answers that I want.
Oh, you will. You will. You have to work your way up. And at some point, you will have to defeat your friends. Can you do that?
I think there's like a brief flash of Cass like having like quote unquote tender memories of like each of the interactions he's had with the other characters, and you know, like Johnny and him leaning in together, and like Scarlett and him having breakfast together, and like walking with Takahiro or something like that, and then says, I can do that.
Then wait for your letter. You and your friends are the wild cards in this 4 suits and now a 5th. Perhaps in doing this, we'll find out who dealt you this way.
And then I think that in order to kind of like fire off the actual move so I can do the roll, I think the thing that I ask is I want to get Brandon in my favor. Yeah, so I want to be put in a situation where I can manipulate Brandon.
Let's have you roll.
Okay. And I'm going to do with metal because this is a very cunning and controlling thing. And that is an 11. Let's see here. So yeah, on a hit, my request is granted. And since it's a total success, there is no catch.
She says, he has a weakness. And that is Takahiro. As of tomorrow, you will be chairing the new disciplinary committee. Takehiro's case will be top on that. Does that seem adequate to you?
It's the same kind of like anime shot where it's like you just see me from like nose down. You don't see my eyes or anything, and then my mouth just like curves to a smile and says, "Yes, I should be able to work with that." And then it's just the click of the phone.
And speak of the devil, Takahiro.
Oh my gosh. Do I walk in on this or like in general?
Oh no, that's
okay.
That's in the Rose Garden elsewhere. Where
Okay.
You've had your incident with Brandon. Do you want to do a scene later? Do you want it with an NPC, with another PC, by yourself doing something? What do you want?
I think I want to. I have to talk to Johnny. I made a promise.
Then, Johnny, where does Takahiro find you?
I think probably like fuming away from his conversation with the chairman, because that seems like an inappropriate headspace to be in.
Yeah, that dark cloud over Johnny as he's marching back to the dorm. Takahiro, you're still mixed up about this conversation with Brandon, but you do see Johnny, who you didn't answer Johnny's question earlier.
Yeah, I think Takahiro's like sitting in a tree trying to process what happened, and then Takahiro will jump down and whisper in the dark, "Hey, Johnny."
And I think Johnny like turns, freaks out, and swings and like misses Takehiro's head by like an inch or two. What are you doing out here?
And I think when you make the swing, Takahiro laughs a little bit and pulls on your wrist to pull you close. Did you want to spar or something? I thought we were going to talk.
I thought I'd make it further than 30 seconds before an inner conflict. Yeah, control. That's all I got left with me, but it's useful here. It's good.
Well, you're not in good shape, dude.
No. That's a 6. But I could spend my bond with Takahiro to take that up to a 7.
Seems appropriate.
And mark metal.
Yeah.
I think you sort of pull on his wrist to go into sort of like a playful sparring grapple sort of thing, and he just loses all coordination and ability to remember what moving's like, and I think he like falls over quickly.
And I think Takahiro will catch you and say, "Hey, are you?" Yeah, of course, in a dip.
Yeah.
Because I want to show off my side. I'm still wearing a crop top, so.
I assumed.
And I'll say, "Are you okay? Sorry, I didn't mean to. You seem off."
Yeah. I'm okay. No, I'm not. I'm not okay. This has been a day, and like sort of squirms to like stand up and pull out of your embrace.
Oh, Takari's not gonna let go. I think Takari's gonna hold on and be like, no, I'm worried about you. You can talk to me.
You sure you wouldn't rather be talking to your girlfriend right now?
I don't like girls. But boobs, stuff. Ugh.
I thought you and Scarlett were like, I mean, because earlier by the dumbwaiter?
Scarlett, what?
Nothing. Obviously, it was just a joke.
Oh, oh gosh, sorry. I should have. I'm not very smart. Sorry, I'm not very
what?
good at
No,
this.
Don't say that. That's no. They're just like books and stuff that are. What were we doing out here?
I was gonna talk to you about stuff, but you seem. And I think like Takeo would like sit by. There's like a beautiful fountain nearby or something, and sit down at it. And I'm worried about you though. You really don't seem great, and I'm gonna try to comfort and support because you're in such bad shape.
That seems fair.
Yeah.
I am not doing well. It's almost like yelling at and punching everything I see is not the best strategy.
Huh.
Yeah. Who would have guessed? I think I'm trying to use water. Like I'm trying to figure out what I have to say in order to get through. So wait, let's see. Water is okay. Ooh, I got an 11. I'm gonna say something awesome. I'm gonna say, do you remember the first time we met?
Yeah, I mean, it was at the beginning of the year, and you know, you had just pushed over that wall in the garden.
Yeah, the wall had it coming.
Well, I mean, it was like really in the way and old, and but it was just, you know, you were there and you just sort of punched at it, and then your arm was like, you know, and the sun was like, but then the wall just like fell over, and it was I don't know, you just started laughing instead of looking embarrassed or like scared of what might happen. It was pretty cool.
And I think Takeo like let out a big grin and say, I was laughing because I looked at you and you were the first person who wasn't scared of me. I thought you were really cool.
I think you're cool too, Takahiro. You know, I think maybe have to go to a roll.
Is this the confess move? Or...
Yeah. So
I
first,
mean, you won't let me go.
first, Johnny, clear an element.
Oh,
And then Takahiro, do you want to clear an element or gain a bond?
Oh, I'm going to gain a bond.
Okay.
I'll clear fire. It's an 8. Scroll down, you evil computer. Let's see, on a 7 to 9, let's see. So when you finally gather yourself and confess your love, roll. On a 7 to 9, your confession's interrupted by something, a dual challenge, a fire drill, charging bolt, etc.
And I think that as you're about to say something, you will see a figure kind of intrude, and you will see, I think appropriate here is Adoma, and she's like, oh, am I interrupting something, Johnny?
No. Yeah, I was just, I tripped on a root, and Takahiro, thanks, buddy.
Yeah, sure.
She says, I'm on evening messenger duty, and she'll hand you a letter, Johnny.
Oh, I gotta look at it. Who's it from?
It's from the chairman.
Oh, thank you.
And she'll look at the two of you as kind of like, and she'll head out.
Should we look at that? I mean, if it's private, but he's
So,
a bad guy,
okay.
right?
Yeah, I mean, he's totally bad. And just to like let you know, I may have mildly gone into his office earlier, you know, just a little bit into his office and yelled at him about him not deserving the place he's at, maybe like killing his father or something. I don't know. I broke a door and I screamed a bunch and then left.
And I think Takiri is gonna laugh and say like, "What? And you went without me?"
Oh my god, it totally would have worked better with you there. I didn't even think about that. Okay, so maybe I should just, yeah, I'm just gonna open it and see what's in it.
Yeah, let's see. And then Takahiro comes real close to read it with you.
apparently the chairman is giving an exhibition the day after tomorrow, and has asked for you to attend as one of the sparring students.
Against
Him. Just a friendly exhibition of his skill.
and there's just this like manic evil grin that spreads across Johnny's face. His eyes reflect the moonlight. Yes.
Johnny, no, you can't. He'll hurt you again.
He's nothing. He can't. Again?
Johnny, I don't. It was in the coffin. I saw things, and I don't.
No,
it was real.
It's fine. There was water, but I got out of it. It was fine.
No. When I saw you were fighting the chairman. You had a sword, and he forced Brandon to. They hurt you. Johnny, I saw you die.
What do you mean, Brandon?
Please, I'm going to fix this. I promise I'll fix this. I'll protect you, but please don't go to the exhibition, okay? I'll protect you.
Brandon knows what's going on with me? He was part of this?
Remember, it's the chairman, right?
He'll like push back away from you. How long have you known about this? What are you protecting him now?
No, Johnny, you're important to me.
Yeah, I'm sure. Just what? Not as important as Brandon and his plans, his secrets?
Do you think this would be... You stupid face!
No, just forget it. I thought I could count on you people, but obviously you're all just children, and I need to deal with this on my own.
And I think Takahiro's gonna go into bullying mode. It's not like you can even do it on your own.
I don't need you. I don't need anybody to stalk off into the night.
Takahiro, do you want to try to do your...
Yeah, I think so.
Let's see. So maybe something will get through. Let's have you roll.
Yeah. Oh no, it's a bad sign if Tucker is bullying more than one person.
Yeah, a little torn there.
Oh no. Okay. Yes. Let's see. I'm going to... Okay, I'm going to roll with fire. I think it makes sense. Okay, that's a 9. I'm going to burn the bond that I just got to get to a 10. So on a 10, on a hit, they recognize your rudeness is the clumsy language of your heart, not a deliberate offense.
So there is that moment, Johnny, when you are angry, but there's something about the way that Takahiro does that you know that he means well. Do you still stalk off?
Look, I need time to figure out what's going on. But if you could help me, would you help me figure out more?
Johnny, I'll do whatever it takes to protect you. I promise. Just please, just trust me. Brandon's asking me to change. No one likes me as I am, but you're different, Johnny.
Screw Brandon. You don't need to change for him. Oh God, especially not for him.
Do I have to change for you?
No, just, maybe tell me next time, rather than just running away and not eating your meat shake?
Milkshake.
I want to cut there. Let's come to Scarlett. Do you want to go forward to the next day? Do you want to do something that evening? We haven't had you have a scene with Cass?
No. Yeah, I think there's a thing of when she's coming back in from her conversation with Kamal, she sees Cass. She sort of stops. And she goes, Cass, guess what I heard?
I think Cass like stands at the stairwell with like a hand on the railing and turns around and says, "What did you find out?"
So the duels that come down from the student council, maybe for other duelists, they get a letter from them. I don't know who.
A letter like the one that card came in?
I don't think so. I think it names who you're supposed to duel.
Mm-hmm.
Did your letter say you were supposed to duel someone?
No, but I think I'll be getting one soon.
I don't like to do what people tell me to. She'll walk past you.
So Cass just kind of like lets you like walk up the stairs and says, "That's funny, because if you do what people tell you long enough, they start to take for granted that you'll just do it. And then they leave themselves open."
And she turns and she goes, you are very clever, Cass. That is why I really love you so much.
So I think there's this moment where it's like Cass smiles up at you and says, "Scarlett, I'm so glad that you trust me and that I can trust you."
She goes, I can trust you. And she kind of looks down and she goes, you and your scythes.
Yeah. Yeah, I feel like that's enough foreshadowing.
Well, I think, Cass, that when you go up to your room, there is a letter on your pillow.
And I kind of walk over and I pick it up, and there's not like excitement in the manner I do it. There's like this almost like not even acceptance. There's this like attitude of like, yes, this is what I deserve.
You'll open it up and it says, if you wish to continue on this path, 3 days you have to duel Scarlett Albescu.
And I think like we immediately flash back to the scene just like a moment ago where I say, if you do the things people tell you, people begin to trust you. And then that leaves an opening.
Nice. So let's cut forward to the next day. And I want to start with Cass and maybe kind of work my way backwards on what we just did. We'll go Cass, Scarlett, and then Mac. Cass, you will, during homeroom, you will be called out and called to the office of Miss Jasper. And she will say, Mr. Berncastle, we have decided to implement a new approach to student discipline. It's an experiment where we have a group of students, a tribunal, as it were, oversee the recommended discipline for particular students. So we've selected you as the presiding judge for this committee, along with your associates, Miss Christine and Agatha.
Mrs. Jasper, of course, I'd be happy to help any way that I can.
Absolutely. Pushes. Our first matter of business is the expulsion of Takahiro. And slides this folder over to you.
Despite the face journey I just went on, Cass is very like stone cold about it and says, and merely like flips open the paperwork and says, "I see."
We see the picture of that the detention room from a few days ago. Oh, everything's shattered and broken in there.
And who will be pleading the case?
Well, I think that we've chosen one of the student council, Mr. Sai.
Interesting. And I suppose it would be beneficial to discuss this with the various different people involved and get more information.
You have full discretion on how you wish to pursue this matter.
I see. And then close the folder and like slide it into my bag and say, well, Miss Jasper, I truly do appreciate that you have trusted me with this responsibility. I guarantee that I will act in a way that will be most beneficial to the Academy.
That is all that one can hope for.
And yeah, I think that at that point I want to seek out Brandon to discuss the matter.
Should we do that scene now or should we come back to that?
Yeah, let's come back to it, I think.
Okay. Let's come to Scarlet.
All right. So
what do you going on to the next day?
Yeah.
You've got this play hanging over. You've got Kim. You've got Takehiro's reticence to talk to Johnny. What do you want to deal with?
I think she's going to take the lines of the script that Cass has given her, and she is studying those, and she's like walking through the campus when, let's see here, who should she run into? I think she will literally run into Jareth. Like just run into his back because she's looking at the script.
Turns around. Excuse me?
She sort of looks up from her script. She goes, "Oh, you must have slowed down. I'm sorry."
No, I think I was walking at an adequate pace. I think it is you who are merely clumsy and perhaps blind.
Oh, I absolutely was blind. She goes, "My mistake." Then she looks back at her script.
And?
Oh, do you want to see?
No. And your apology?
Oh, yes, I suppose that you slowed down. I apologize. I will attempt to meter your pace more adequately next time.
It's a tone of insolence in your voice I do not care for. No retort?
No.
Good. Straightens himself.
She sort of stops and goes, "You've absolutely won." And then she goes back to reading her script.
and like we definitely see all the other students have like frozen in place because Jareth is notorious for his temper. And you start to move off and he says, perhaps we should confirm that victory
She's like looking at the script, and she'll sort of look back up and say, excuse me?
A trial, a competition, a test.
4.
Between you and I.
All right.
What would you choose?
She sort of stops and says, the speech of Ophelia. Which of us can do it better?
And I think we'll see that thing. It looks like, you know, when students come to like watch a fight, you know, and they all kind of gather up there and you know, and I think then we cut to near that pool that we talked about last time, the outdoor one, the reflecting pool, and we see both of you there. There are probably a couple of students that are like, you know, massaging Jareth's back as he's preparing. He's doing and he will stand and prepare to duel you with the speech of Ophelia, her key scene.
Right, and since he challenged me, he needs to go first, doesn't he?
Yes, and he will present. But you're
and
still
when he starts to, she stops and goes, "Oh no, Ophelia's speech is delivered from the water, isn't it?"
For purposes of verisimilitude, yes. And he will step into the water up to his knees.
Enjoying yourself so much. I'm sorry.
And there is that moment, and he leans into it, just absolutely, you know, does with all the passion and strength that he can muster. You know, and there'll be applause because he's a good-looking member of the student council. Your turn.
All right. And of course, she's dressed for looking lovely when she's in the water, right? So, and she does the whole thing where she lays it on her back to do it. So, and
have you rolled duel?
I hate taking these to the dice. Okay, duel, and then that's with +2. 4, so a 6. Oh boy.
6?
Wait a minute, but I can make it a 7. And I think I have cast still as my thing, and that makes perfect sense, actually. Is it? No, it's chem. Oh, I think I see chem, just like other things. So I bring it to a 7. So.
Do you want to win at a cost? Do you want to narrate your loss and mark XP, but you get +1 forward against him in the next time? Or do you want to deadlock and reveal a detail or ask a question?
Oh, I want a deadlock. And I want to know, of all the people that are gathered here, who is it that Jareth is most concerned with impressing?
Let's see here. I think that he is attempting to impress Rudra.
Oh, really? Excellent. Yeah, and she stands up and she bows to him because they come to a draw.
And the theater club is there. Who they're obviously the judges, theater club, and there's that sort of hurried conference. And the leader of the drama club will say, I after due consideration and thing, I think it is a draw. And there's murmurings of people, clearly divided on their feelings about that.
Yeah, I think that she will bow to Jareth, and then I think she'll turn and wink at Rudra after that, and then Kim.
Absolutely. Let's come to Takahiro. The next day, what do you want? How are you informed that you are currently under disciplinary investigation?
Oh, I think it's who was the teacher I annoyed last time with detention?
I think that was Miss Reith.
Yeah, I think she really enjoys it. She was looking forward to telling me.
Takahiro come and you notice that like there's only like all the other detention desks have moved away. Yours is just kind of in the center. Have a seat.
Okay, Miss Reith.
I regret to inform you there's a little matter, and she'll slide the envelope over to you.
Okay. This is a vacation?
Oh, it might well be.
And I think poor Takahiro had already opened it and read it and misread expulsion as vacation.
Yeah. She goes, yes. Think of it as vacation.
Oh, okay.
She goes, and so I don't think you need to serve detention today. You can go ahead and go on.
Sure. I'll go.
You have to prepare for your vacation.
All right. Sure. Have a good day, Miss Reith.
So where do you go from there, Takahiro?
I think I'm gonna tell Johnny about my vacation, like with the letter.
Johnny, you're down, in the beautifully outdoor cafeteria. There, seated at a table when you see Takahiro comes up, which you're surprised. Usually he has a lunch hour detention.
Yeah, I think Johnny's there, like going over lines with himself, like a couple of Claudius' speeches. Like he doesn't have long ones, but he's got some good lines in there. Give him dramatic readings. Takahiro. Hey, Takahiro.
Oh, I got a letter too. Vacation? I didn't know they gave out vacations to people one-on-one. And I hand you the letter that clearly states it is not a vacation.
They don't. This says you're being expelled?
I'm being what?
From the school?
Is that a bad thing? You're acting like it's a bad thing.
Kicked out. Gone. No more school. Bye-bye.
Oh. And I think like Tucker stops. How am I going to help you as the chairman, though, if I'm not here?
That is a very good question. No, so they're having a hearing to see if they're going to kick you out of school forever for breaking a whole, there's just a long list.
Well, it was just stuff. I mean, I don't know. I mean, I'll figure it out. Sorry for bothering you, Johnny. I'm sure it'll work out.
Oh, this is not one of those. You should definitely not do this by yourself.
Oh, yeah. So I should talk to Cass and Scarlett. We should, yeah. I mean, we help each other, right?
Yeah, Scarlett and sure. Look, this is if you don't do anything about this, they're just going to use whatever rules they make up and railroad you and say whatever they want about you. You have to stand up for yourself.
And I think Tucker is going to grin at you and say, there isn't a single rule that can hold us back.
Let's just get the others, okay?
Let's do this. I think let's do Cass and Brandon, and then we'll bring people together. Does that sound like a good frame? Cass, because a couple of scenes have passed, by this point, there's no longer a bandage over Brandon's nose. And he is essentially doing teacher assistant things in one of the classrooms, and he sees you come in and he's like, Burncastle.
Yeah, and I want to establish that because I'm now chair of the disciplinary committee, I've gotten like a uniform level up. So my traditional school girl dress has actually become a double-breasted blazer, skirt full of ruffles still, but it's basically like the Nanami level up to student council. So
Yes?
Yes, I came because I wanted to discuss, as I'm sure you are aware, there is a new disciplinary committee that has been formed, and I've been appointed the chair of that committee. And an interesting case has come across my desk.
You're chair of the disciplinary committee?
Yes, as of this morning.
And he's caught off guard. That's completely surprise to him. All right. What is the case?
Well, it involves a young Mr. Takahiro Santos, and I was hoping that I could get your opinion on the case.
May I? Is there paperwork?
Of course. And I slide over a folder that I have personally rifled through, and it's a very thick folder, but there are suddenly a lot of redactions through it, as if something has been covered up, because I've made copies and made it I want to say that I've orchestrated it in such a way that I'm trying to catch him even more off guard.
Yeah, I think he'll look through it, and he kind of gets a little paler as this goes on. This is well, I mean, Takahiro. This is just acting out. Certainly, as you think we can agree, this doesn't rise to the level of expulsion.
I'm not so sure, Mr. Sai. After all, the damage to the detention classroom was quite extensive.
But I thought that Takahiro was. But this is probably an accident.
I would be more inclined to say that it was an accident if it didn't follow a very particular pattern of behavior. And I take the papers and I slide them, fan them out, and you can just see bills and photos of damage and that wall that we talked about before too. And
I've forgotten about the garden wall. Let's see here. I think I want you to roll for hearts and minds here.
Okay. I'm going to use my metal stat because this is definitely calculating, and let's see here. And that is an 11. So the way that this looks actually is that mainly just because I think I want to change up my romantic entanglement next session. I think that what this looks like is that as Brandon is looking down at the files, I place a hand on the desk over the paperwork, and I lean in and I catch him by the tie, and I pull him closer and I say, Now, I understand that you are rather inclined to keep Mr. Santos around. And if you can personally guarantee me that he'll be able to clean up his act, as it were, then maybe I will be able to find a way to give him one last chance.
I will make him change.
I'm so glad to hear that. And, oh, one more thing.
Yes?
I would very much appreciate if you would take me to dinner tonight.
I am at your service.
Wonderful. Well, I'll make sure to see that this gets taken care of. And all of a sudden the paperwork is just like swooped up and the file is tucked underneath Cass's arm.
And Cass, you may take a bond with Brandon, I think.
I'm going for that villain edit.
Let's cut forward to the four of you meeting back at the dorm, if that's okay. We can kind of do a group scene. We'll assume that you have returned and gotten cleaned up after standing in the laying in the pool when Johnny and Takahiro come in, and Cass, probably a lazy but measured arrival after that. Johnny, what do you say to Scarlet?
Scarlet, there you are. Good, finally. Look, forget about the play. We have something way more important.
What?
Just
I've been
hold
practicing
up
the speech. Oh, and then she stops.
Hold up the letter in your face, and there's a zoom in on like the word expulsion, which is like pulsing in red.
Oh my gosh. Not Takahiro. Everyone knows he doesn't mean anything by it.
I know, right? They're going way over the top. But there's worse duels that happen here all the time. Do you remember when the science building blew up?
Yeah, I do. Lost my experiment. Had to start from the beginning. It was a travesty. I hate fruit flies.
Something's going on, though. We have to stop this.
All right. I just have to figure out who to talk to. Who signed on these? I'm just looking through the paper.
This doesn't have that. It says, essentially a supervisory committee to be announced, all of that kind of thing.
Weird. We'll have to find out who. We'll have to find out who's in charge of this disciplinary committee, I say, as Cass walks in.
Cass is going to play coy with it and not tell any of you that he's actually the one heading up that new committee. But you all notice there is a new uniform. Looks much more authoritative, and walks over and says, "What's going on, everybody? I hope you're rehearsing your lines for the play. It's coming up very soon."
Forget about the play. That's not important anymore.
And then it's literally a repeat of that scene with
yes. Look at this.
And then Cass just takes the paperwork and says, oh no, this is, well, something simply has to be done. We can't allow Takahiro to be expelled. This dorm is already so lonely as it is. What if there were only 3 of us?
And I think when you say that, Takahiro smiles and says, "I knew you'd help, Cass. I think as long as we're together, it should be fine, right?"
Of course. I would never let anything bad happen to you. And then I think they're saying, well, it's, it's late enough as it is that I don't think there's anything more we can do about this tonight.
But we have to find some school rule or something that we can use against them in the hearing, right?
I mean, I think that if Takahiro goes into that hearing and pleads his case and is honest and open about like his dedication to the school, that I'm sure everything will work out just fine.
Ding dong.
And you do see Scarlett look at Cass at that point, and her eyebrow goes up when Cass says that.
And then it's like, oh, the door. Like completely like avoids the suspicion and goes over and opens the door.
There's a chauffeur there. There's a limo that has been pulled up. Mr. Berncastle or Mr. Sai is wondering if you're ready to go.
Oh, yes. I should be. I think that I'm ready to go. And just like sets like his school bag down on a chair and then turns to the other says, I actually have plans for dinner tonight, so go ahead and start without me.
I think at the mention of Mr. Sai and dinner, there's probably like this back shot to the other three of us with all of our heads slowly turning in unison to look directly at Cass.
Caskin will walk out and
there's actually one thing I want to do before I do that.
Absolutely.
And say, I'm about to walk out and like have a hand on the doorknob, and then I turn around and it's like, oh, there's one more thing I've forgotten. And then walks over to Scarlett and holds out a letter and says, I would like to challenge you to a duel tomorrow night at the top of the observatory. And then waves and says, well, have a good night, everybody.
And through the front window, all of you will see Cass get into the back of this car to head to the special dining hall. And you will see Brandon in the back of the car as Cass gets in. Door shuts, car drives away. And that's where we're going to end.
Just as Takahiro's about to rip open the door.
Yes. Let's give you 3 end of session points. I think that as the car drives away, we kind of go in on Brandon. He's maybe looking back at the building. He knows that Takahiro is in there, but then he turns and gives his full attention to Cass. And I think we cut from that to the figure, and it reaches and it says, the next duel is Temperance. And lays it down, 3rd card on the table. And let's stop there. We'll do a little not Roses and Thorns. What's the other one? Stars and Wishes. This is like my brain is fried. So I'm going to stop recording.